Everything Donald Trump does, Steph, and here's a point of light, is a miscalculation and an overreach, and he is alienating enormous swaths of the American
Yeah.
public and countries around the world with his Gaza nonsense.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's going to help hasten his political demise.
Yeah, this is a lot of law breaking. Okay, but we did a Heroes of Democracy. Rule of law hanging by a thread. The attorneys that resigned en masse, right,
Yep.
rather than drop charges against a clearly guilty, allegedly, Eric Adams, right? Talk about that a little bit.
U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, the Southern District of New York, U.S. Attorney's Office, Danielle Sassoon, refused to do Donald Trump's dirty work. And let me just bring into full focus for everybody the depth of the corruption here, because a couple of days ago, one of Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorneys, who's now a high DOJ official, Emil Bove, or Bove, I don't care how you actually pronounce his name, said the following when he ordered U.S. Attorney Sassoon to dismiss the case against Mayor Adams, that the directive to dismiss the case in no way calls into question the integrity and efforts of the prosecutors working on the case, nor Ms. Sassoon's efforts in leading them. And then when she said, I'm not doing it, I'm not dismissing a case that is strong on the evidence because you want Eric Adams to do Donald Trump's bidding. Here's what Bove said 2 days later. In accepting Ms. Sassoon's resignation, he informed her that the prosecutors who worked on the case were being placed on administrative leave and would be investigated by the Attorney General and the Justice Department's internal investigative arm. And he told Ms. Sassoon both bodies would also evaluate her conduct. Do our dirty bidding, or else we retaliate against you. He put this in writing, Steph.
Yeah. I mean, Glenn, the corruption's all out in the open. They didn't even argue on the legal merits. You got to drop it. He's innocent. They didn't argue he's innocent. They just said it's quid pro quo. It's almost like saying quid pro quo. I don't know. He's going to help us with our, ICE stuff. So we're just going to, they don't even think they have to encode it anymore, do they?
Governor Hochul, use your authority to remove an abjectly corrupt and criminal mayor of New York. Because now that these charges have been dismissed, what does Adams say? I'm intending to violate the law by letting ICE flood into Rikers. If that violates the law and a lawless mayor said he intends to do it, it's time for Governor Hochul to act and use the authority that she has to protect the people of New York.
Yeah. Let's talk about the people of New York for a minute, because I had to try to understand this. So the first tweet I saw about it, let's see, Brad tweeted, Donald Trump and Elon Musk illegally removed $80.5 million in FEMA funding from New York City's bank accounts. This highway robbery is a betrayal of everyone who calls New York City home. Well, I had to go to our Representative Dan Goldman to find out, what is this about? He said at Congress's direction, FEMA reimbursed New York City for $80 million of the billions spent on immigrants bussed here from red states. You remember, as cruel publicity stunts. As revenge, Trump is taking that money back. This is purely partisan retaliation. Trump is leveraging taxpayer money to punish those who stand up to him. I mean, it's like the crime, robberies in broad daylight.
Yeah, but Steph, more than 50 legal challenges, lawsuits have been filed. As I was walking to the camera this morning, another suit I learned was filed by 12 states saying, guess what? The DOGE ain't a thing. And we are challenging it as being unconstitutional. They sued Musk, they're suing Trump. And I have a feeling you're going to have courts weighing in and saying, the DOGE was not created by Congress. There's no authority.
Thank you.
And the courts have been holding, Steph.
Yeah.
So let's keep the lawsuits coming.
Yeah, and thank you. That's what everyone's the department of. It's not a department of anything. That's not how the United States works. As you say, Congress has the power of the purse. Congress creates departments. You can't just go, oh, like we joke about our graphics department, or it doesn't exist.
No.
It's just a thing I said.
Yeah, this DOGE thing, and Elon Musk running around with his DOGE bags trying to, stop all of these government agencies from doing their work that Congress has already appropriated funds for. It feels unconstitutionally to me.
Yeah. So, judge orders Trump administration to temporarily allow funds for foreign aid to flow again. You're right, Glenn. I'm having a hard time keeping up with, the amount. I mean, this is what this is going to be like, right? It's a lawsuit, not just a day, several a day, right? And as you say, the judges are largely ruling against them. But then the next thing you allude to, you said a federal judge just ruled Trump administration is violating the court's restraining order. It seems Trump is urging to plunge our nation into a true constitutional crisis. The question now is who in government will stand up to Trump and who will be complicit with Trump? I mean, we're already in the phase of not complying, right?
Yeah, and the good news is, Steph, when Trump, his administration sent the so-called fork in the road email to all 2 million federal government workers, demeaning them by saying, why don't you leave your low productivity government jobs for a high productivity private sector jobs? That means he knows nothing about the public servants that are working on behalf of the American people. But, he sent that email hoping everybody would obey in advance. And guess what? The tiniest fraction of federal workers actually hit resign in response to that email. Literally 2 million are standing strong. And that speaks volumes about the nature of the people in government service.
Yeah. Well, look at the, a bit of a rebellion going on in the FBI. I mean, it turns out they don't really like people who beat the bejesus out of cops. Right.
And think about it. The FBI is really Donald Trump's muscle, right? That is the preeminent law enforcement agency under his control. So figuratively speaking, the FBI is like a gun in Donald Trump's hand. But by demeaning, disrespecting, and insulting all of the FBI agents, he has unloaded that gun. And Donald Trump is sitting there, slumping behind the Resolute desk with nothing but a hunk of metal in his hand, and he can do a lot less damage. So everything Donald Trump does, Steph, and here's a point of light, is a miscalculation and an overreach, and he is alienating enormous swaths of the American public and countries around the world with his Gaza nonsense.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's going to help hasten his political demise.
Yeah. Oh, hey there, it's Stephanie Miller. If you're like me and you love sharp political insight, pointy, you like it pointy and sharp, bold opinions, and a touch of humor to make sense of these crazy times, have I got some fantastic news for you. The Political Voices Network is now on Substack. This is your new go-to for the best in independent media. We're talking about my show streaming daily with episodes on demand, the fearless of journalism of Brian Karem, the brilliant side-splitting satire of John Fugelsang, the unrelenting working class advocacy of Rick Smith, and so much more. Here's the best part. Subscribing is so easy. You can join for free or go to the extra mile. Support these incredible independent voices by signing up for a full subscription starting at just $8. You'll get access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and a chance to directly fuel fearless, unfiltered media. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Hit that subscribe button and become part of the movement keeping truth alive in an era of corporate media overload. Every subscription helps, especially yours. One more time, that is politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Sign up now. Do it.